Hey guys, so in this video we are going to talk about two more methods, and they are going to be okay. So they are going to be def add before. So we have to add some data before a key. Okay. So the user is going to pass the key with this function first, and then the user is going to pass the actual data which we want to add to the data structure. Okay, so another method is going to be add after. Okay, after a key. Okay, so this line says we have to add this data after the key. Okay, so let's begin. Yeah, so first condition that we are going to check is if the list is empty. Okay, so if self dot size equals to 0 and not self dot head and not self dot tail. So we are going to print please add some data to the list. So second condition is going to be if there exists at least one node. So if sorry, so we are going to use else statement. Now current node is going to be self dot head. We are going to start the loop. Okay, we are going to need a while loop here. Okay, so let's start from self dot head, and before starting our loop we have to create the new node. So node takes a data. Okay, and let's create previous node set to none initially, while current node if current node dot data equals to the key. It means that if we find the key, then pass, else previous node equals to the current node, and current node will be updated to current node dot next. Okay, now we have to complete our add before method. Okay, so if we find our data, so there are going to be two conditions here. First, adding before the head node. Okay, so to add before head node we have to check if uh, current node dot prev equals to self dot tail. So if the previous to the current node is the tail node, it means the current node is the head node. So we have identified the head node. Okay, so now we have to interconnect our new node with the tail node as well as the head node. So first we cover the tail node part. Okay, so self dot tail dot next equals to new node dot prev equals to self dot tail. Now we have to interconnect the new node to the head node. Okay, so self dot head node dot prev equals to new node, and new node dot next is going to be self dot head. All right, and this time the self dot head points towards the new node. So the new node is the new head node of the list. So I hope I'm clear so far. And now we have to cover the second half of this method. So adding before any random node but not uh, the head node, because we have already taken care of head node, right? So else, so we are going to create, we have this previous node, right? So we are going to use this variable that we created, previous node dot next equals to new node, and new node dot prev equals to previous node. So we have interconnected the previous node to the new node. Right. So the next of previous node is new node, and the previous node of next node is the previous node variable. Right. Now we have to interconnect the current node and new node this time. So the new node dot next is going to be the current node, and current node dot prev is going to be new node. Now self dot size is incremented by 1, and then we are going to return. Why we are returning? To avoid an infinite loop. Okay, so you can just return true. I just like to write only return. So we have completed our add before method. Now we copy these lines up to line 58. We're gonna paste it here. Now while current node, if current node dot data equals to the key, okay, then we pass for now else current node equals to the current node dot next. Okay, we are updating our node. Now again we have to take care of two conditions. First is adding after the tail node this time. So if current node dot next equals to self dot head this time. So if the current node's next node is a head node, it means that current node is it means that current node is the tail node. Okay. So we have to add after the tail node, right? So current node dot next equals to the new node. The new node dot prev equals to the current node. We have interconnected the current node to the new node. Okay. And now new node dot Next is going to be self dot head, and self dot head dot pref equals to the new node. So we have now interconnected the new node and the head node, and self dot tail is now going to point towards the new node, because new node is the new tail node this time. Okay, else part. We have to cover the else part, right? So adding after any random node, but not the tail node, because we have already taken care of tail node this time. Okay, so else. So now we are going to create a new variable, next node, and it's going to store the reference for current nodes next. So now we have to interconnect the current node to the new node, because we have to add the new node between the current node and the next node, right? So current node's next node is going to be the new node. New node's previous node will be the current node, right? And now we have to interconnect the new node to the next node variable. So new node dot next equals to next node, and next node dot pref equals to the new node. Okay, now self dot size is again incremented by 1, and we are going to return true, right? Again, avoid infinite loop. So let's check our code. So before traversing, we are going to first check add before method. So let's add before 0. We want to, okay, first let's add before -2. So we want to add before the head node, right? So we want to add -3 this time before -2. Okay, and we want to add before 0. We are going to add -0.5, negative zero point 0.5. Okay, so let's check it. Okay, so -3 has been added before -2, and minus 0.5 has been added before 0, and this is the reverse traverse method. So 3 2 1. Okay, so 3 has been added before, right? And current items are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So the current list size is 8. So our methods are working. This method is working fine. Let's check the other method. Add after. So we want to add after 3. We want to add 4, and we are going to add after 0 this time positive zero point 0.5. Okay. So okay. So you can see that 4 has been added after 3, and zero point 0.5 has been added after 0. Yeah, so it's working fine. And the list size is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, so list size is 10, I think. Right. So that's it for this video. and we are done with our add after and add before methods. So we are going to cover the remove method and some more methods in our next video. So see you there.